Hello, Mass Effect Andromeda designer really is a racist. And this is something that's very important. We are very much in a very political charged climate, more and more, with a lot of political correctness, and it's getting out of hand. Quite literally, far beyond what should even be taken. Now, one of the biggest important things is to realize is that I don't want this man fired. I don't want anything. I'm just bringing attention to it because, quite literally, this is kind of showing a lot of horrible shit that's going on in the industry, and we are quite literally, honestly, ignoring what words actually mean and allowing actual racist, bigoted shit to come through. Now, I really don't give a damn. This is starting to get very unhealthy, and quite literally, for me, and someone like this kind of sours my idea of staying with BioWare. They already soured my opinion with Mass Effect 3 for all of its normal actual problems with it. And when we have designers screaming out bigotry, racism, and shit like that, yeah, it quite honestly does get me to back off. Now, this is why when people have this shit spewed on the internet, it's like Phil Fish. His games, they're okay, they're not bad, but for what he said and what he does, it does, for a way, make me very standoffish to want to support his product. Because by act of giving money, I'm supporting him financially. This is something that, in the gaming industry, it's getting tiresome. We have to really not ignore the fact that anyone can be racist, bigoted, sexist, what have you. And the biggest thing is that this type of person in the industry, you're going to start turning people off. We've seen the decline of games, and you've seen this come and go and happen very much when the language talking about games is very much stagnant. Now, if you really want to talk about games in an in-depth manner, I'm going to probably try to do that and talking it from many different angles, but this is one of the issues I do want to talk about it. When designers in these games are spouting off this shit, it does represent the company one way or another. If you are, and I don't know if this guy's a PR or something, but I think he's just a designer. This is going far beyond the realm of anything that really makes sense. And as you can see with a few things, and I'll link the article from Heat Street, is that this man is quite literally a bigot. This is where it's going to build undue tensions amongst people in the community. I quite literally don't see there being any recognition unless this type of behavior is actually properly addressed. That if you start doing this shit, it's not tolerated. You can't just give one set of rules for one people and then another for another. I'm sorry. If a white person had said this about any other minority and ethnicity, his boot would be to the door without a second thought. This is the main reason why, when it comes down to the nerd culture and stuff like that, very much why I'm pretty much trying to focus on the good stuff, the enjoyable stuff, posting my games, talking with people. It comes down to that simple fact. We need to stop going with this insanity. Because, I'm sorry, you're mocking white people for their appearance, odd habits, and then joked about murdering white people? This is why I treat everyone equally. If you act like a piece of shit, I will treat you like a piece of shit. This is very important to understand that, quite literally, any backlash this guy gets from the community, from anything he said, it's very hard for me to jump to his defense for anything, because he's already shown a very disgusting habit of, quite honestly, being a bigot and an asshole. BioWare, I'm sorry, this is where you start having people walk away from things. This type of actually toxic and hostile behavior spewed at anyone, treat them like you would treat a white person. Treat them with dignity and respect. Treat him by the contents of his character, not by the color of his skin. The context of his character is he's a racist bigot. And I'm sorry, this is very much as it said, these lower down on the progressive stack are giving free rein to openly deride those that perceive as suffering less oppression. This is the problem with Russian Olympics. You want to really go at it. If you're in the United States, if you're in the West, you are fucking privileged. You do not have to worry about so much. This is why the privilege in Russian Olympics is a load of horse crap right now. In the modern age, in the age we're living in, there are horrible things happening. And guess what? It's in the third world, or the developing world, whatever you want to call it. Please stop with this ludicrous crap. This is just a very calm rant because, quite literally, there is nothing that can come of this. There is nothing good that will come of this. I'm sorry. BioWare, your greater works were in the past. And you want to know why? Because you focused on content. Please, treat this man accordingly. People who love games, please, if their games are good, you support them. But I, for one, I'm getting tired of this crap. And their content has been slipping time and time again. And quite literally, a racist bigot screaming and swearing and acting like a bigot kind of makes me not want to actually support their product. This is just me. This is just my thoughts. Very calm rant. But honestly, this is quite honestly the racism, prejudice, and being a bigot of lesser expectations. I treat these people accordingly. He's a racist. Nothing more, nothing less. Thank you for listening. Please tell me what you think, and thank you, and good night.